Big Bang Theory.
I got it there.
Bazinga.
Hi, Commissioner. Oh, my God. Hey, Joe. Quanto bajado tú?
You have considered.
Oh, my God, you look
It's
good.
the lady in red.
Guys, thank you, thank you. See? That's good.
It's Christmas time.
15 or 20?
Hanukkah.
31.
I figured that. You put that, I could tell. Yep.
Do you want to start?
Yeah, let's get started. Let's rock and roll. Yeah.
Please rise to salute the flag.
Pledge
allegiance
to the
The flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Presiding officer of this regular meeting of the Board of Commissioners of the Town of West New York, held on December 17, 2014, 6 p.m. work session. I do hereby publicly announce and I direct that this announcement shall be placed in the minutes of this meeting and that the notice requirements provided for in the Open Public Meetings Act have been satisfied. Notice that this meeting was properly given by the Board of Commissioners in a resolution dated and adopted December 18, 2013. Said resolution was transmitted by the town clerk to the Jersey Journal and the Clerk Record and publicly posted on the municipal bulletin board in the town hall and filed with the town clerk. Bless you. First item on the agenda will be approval of minutes from the regular meeting of November 24th. We have payment of claims. We have receipt of financial reports for the month of November. We have various communications. The first communication will be a presentation by Mr. Watkins. You want me to read them first, or you want to do that?
Yeah, go first.
Okay.
Read it first.
Oh, okay. 4B is the town engineer's monthly status report dated December 15th. We have bid results received on December 2nd for garbage and recycling. We have various RFPs received on December 3rd. Conflict Counsel Planning Board, General Counsel Planning Board, Tenant Advocacy Attorney, General Counsel Rent Control Board, Tax Appeal Counsel, Tax Appeal Expert, Financial Consultant, Counsel to Library Board, ABC Prosecutor, Special Hearing Officer. We also had RFPs received on December 4th as follows: Special Counsel, Grant Consultant Federal and State, Webmaster Website Maintainer, Workers' Compensation Attorney. RFPs received on December 12th as follows: Alternate Prosecutor, Conflict Counsel Zoning Board, Snow Removal. We have one proclamation honoring our Commissioner Caridad Rodriguez. Do you want me to still continue to read, or do you want to make a presentation?
Just read it.
Yes, we are. Resolution R1, refund of deposit pursuant to ordinance 4/96, which was a filming permit issued to Drew Stone International. R2, it's a repealing resolution for a restricted parking space for a handicapped resident, which is no longer required at 1465th Street. R3, a repealing resolution for a loading zone at 647 60th Street, which is no longer necessary. R4, repealing resolution adopted in February of 2012, which established a loading zone at 5909 Park Avenue. R5, a repealing resolution adopted in 1998, which established a loading zone at 524 59th Street. R6, approval of professional services agreement between the Town of West New York and Shane Schaefer and Raffanello for Zoning Board of Adjustment Council. The term was January 1 of 2015 to December 31st of 2015. R7, authorizing the insertion in the budget of special item of revenue and appropriation, Chapter 159, for the Drive Sober or Get Pulled Over year-end holiday crackdown. R8, ratifying memorandum of agreement with Communication Workers of America, AFL-CIO, local number 1045. R9, refunds of overpayments of taxes. R10, tax corrections regarding 5509 Madison Street. R11, Hudson County Board Tax Appeals. R12, refunds of premiums. R13, refunds of redemptions. R14, tax assessment corrections, 6045 Boulevard East. R15, awarding resolution for office supplies to Percorama Coffee Services Incorporated. R16, approving the cash management plan for the year 2015. R17, awarding emergency contract for animal control shelter services. R18, authorizing the Town of West New York to seek fair and open process in compliance with the pay-to-play statutes for the retention of animal control shelter services. R19, approval of professional services agreement between the town of West New York and Bruno and Ferraro for general counsel planning board. All of the professional services agreements are for the term January 1 of 2015 to December 31st of 2015. R20, approval of professional services agreement between the town of West New York and Samoas and Associates for general counsel rent control board. R21, approval of professional services contract between the town of West New York and Bruno Associates for grant consultant, county and state. R22, approval of professional services agreement between the town of West New York and Crivet for grant consultant, federal. R23, approval of professional services agreement between the town of West New York and Alpha Dog Solutions for webmaster website maintainer. R24, approval of professional services agreement between the town of West New York and Netchard, Deneen and Hillman, and Glazer and Camel for workers' compensation attorney. R25, approval of professional services agreement between the town of West New York and O'Donnell McCord for tenant advocacy attorney. R26, designating official depositories for calendar year 2015. R27, approval of professional services agreement between the town of West New York and NW Financial Group for financial consultant. R28, approval of professional services agreement between the town of West New York and Mateo Perez Esquire for ABC prosecutor. R29, approval of professional services agreement between the town of West New York and Coviello and Legg and Hero LLP for alternate prosecutors. R30, capital budget amendment for 2014. R31, authorizing adoption of the 2015 debt service requirements. R32, cancellation of 2014 budget appropriations in the current fund at the year end. R33, transfer of funds for 2014. R34, cancellation of stale dated checks. R35, authorizing adoption of 2015 temporary budget. R36, cancellation of various miscellaneous other trust fund reserves. R37, approval of municipal services agreement between the town of West New York and City View at West New York Master Association and Tower West Incorporated for the year 2014. R38, approval of professional services agreement between the town of West New York and Cruzy, McDermott, Mastro and Murphy, law offices, and Giblin and Ganio, and Roderick T. Baltimore for special hearing officers. R39, approval of professional services agreement between the town of West New York and Dubrovic and Associates LLC, Douglas M. Standriff, Esquire, Schwartz, Simon, Edelstein, Bruno, and Ferraro, Abruzzi, McDermott, Mastro, and Murphy, Whipple, Azzarello, Cottrell Law Office, Florio and Kenny, Giblin and Ganio, Chazen, Lehner, and Lamparello, Gutierrez, and Latibrudia, I'm sorry, I'm not doing well with these names, and Scurency Hollenbeck for special counsel. Oh, yeah, okay. R40, requesting permission for the dedication by rider for elevator inspections, other trust fund required by NJAC 5:23-12. R41, requesting permission for dedication by rider for recreation donations, other trust fund required by NJS 40:48-2.56. R42, requesting permission for the dedication by rider for municipal public defenders, other trust funds required by NJS 2B12-28. R43, accepting resignation of Commissioner Caridad Rodriguez. R44, appointing the mayor as the director of the Department of Public Safety until a new commissioner is appointed. R45, an awarding resolution to approve the contract with Joseph Smenkowski Incorporated, Galaxy Karting, for solid waste and recycling collection and disposal. R46, approval of professional services agreement between the town of West New York and Mark A. Rasso Esquire for tax appeal counsel. R47, approval of professional services agreement between the town of West New York and the Pinnell Law Group, Richard Pinnell Esquire for counsel to library board. R48, appointment of Commissioner Ruben Vargas to fill the unexpired term of Harold Schroeder as a member of the North Hudson Sewerage Authority. R49, appointment of member of the Management Committee of the North Hudson Regional Fire and Rescue. R50, approval to approve participation in the HGA-CBUY Cooperative Purchasing Agreement. R51, Awarding resolution for the award of the snow removal contract to Amernus Corporation. R52, reappointment of Osvaldo Garcia as a member of the West New York ABC Board. R53, appointment of Israel Rodriguez as a member of the Town of West New York ABC Board. R54, appointment of Adam Cruz and Anthony Gomez as commissioners of the Town of West New York Parking Authority. R55, appointment of Janice Durham, Jesus Aristi, Angela Duval, Mariolatus Baldeo, David Morel, Daniel Ortega, and Vanessa Cirillo as members of the West New York Rent Control Board. R56, appointment of Teresa Cruz, Herman Alberto Chapin, Jesus Alvarado, Kenneth Blaine, Ramon Morajon, Mohammed El Maksoud, and Almer Martins as members of the Zoning Board of Adjustment. R57, appointment of Andre Garcia as a Class 1 designee of the West New York Planning Board. R58, appointment of Jose M. Alcantara as Class 4 member and Miguel Borrego as an alternate number 1 of the West New York Planning Board. R59, appointment of Commissioner Fior de Elisa Frias as Class 3 member, Johanna Hernandez as Class 4 member, and Gennaro Sanchez as alternate number 2 of the West New York Planning Board. R60, appointment of Irene Fernandez and Carmen Perez as members of the West New York Housing Authority. R61, shared services agreement between the Town of West New York and the West New York Board of Education for school nursing services for St. Joseph's of the Palisades Elementary School. And R62, a resolution authorizing closure of executive session. Shall I proceed to the titles on the ordinances? We have several hearings and final adoptions of ordinances. The following are hearings and final adoptions. First is Bond Ordinance 1614, entitled "The Bond Ordinance of the Town of West New York, County of Hudson, New Jersey, providing for the acquisition of vehicles and equipment and appropriating an amount not exceeding $200,000 therefore, and authorizing the issuance of not to exceed $190,000 in bonds or notes of the Town of West New York." Hearing and final adoption of Bond Ordinance 17/14, an ordinance of the Town of West New York and the County of Hudson, New Jersey, providing for the acquisition of 911 public safety equipment and other equipment and improvements, and appropriating $960,000 therefore, and providing for the issuance of $912,000 in bonds or notes of the Town of West New York to finance the same. Hearing and final adoption, ordinance 1814, an ordinance amending chapter 161, quote, Construction Codes Uniform, sections 2.b, I, subsection B, 2, subsection B, 3, subsection B, 4, subsection B of the Town of West New York Municipal Code with regard to the collection of state training fees to comport with the mandate of the State of New Jersey relative thereto. Hearing and final adoption of Ordinance 1914, an ordinance approving a 5-year tax abatement for multifamily building constructed by 600-602 LLC pursuant to the provisions of the 5-year tax exemption and abatement law, NJSA 48:21-1 et sec, and Section 7 of the Ordinance 11/07, an ordinance entitled 5-year tax abatement ordinance. We have 2 introductions of ordinances. One is Ordinance 20/14, an ordinance repealing Chapter 53 of the Code of the Town of West New York entitled Insurance Fund Commission, and Ordinance 2114, an ordinance amending Chapter 93 of the Code of the Town of West New York regarding salaries and compensation. Do you wish to make the presentation now, Mr. Watkins, or?
Okay. Clearly, we've been busy, as you can see in this agenda. We continue to work on changing our insurance program here in West New York to save money. We're transitioning our liability and workers' comp insurance to a new service that you awarded last meeting. Claims manager and working with our new JIF. There's a change on an ordinance being considered tonight for introduction, which will eliminate an unnecessary step for our insurance, make it more efficient, and actually will save us about $20,000 a year just in fees. On our health insurance, we continue to work on verification of our rates. We finished the audit that we did, and we will be working on that to implement that in January. The implementation of our new claims procedure with our new TPA, now that we've brought in, we've reassigned some staff, so we'll have a new claims procedure that when incidents occur in the town, that's insurance, we know about it immediately, that the claim is opened, and we can start to manage that claim without any delay. There's been, anytime you delay a claim, it usually means more money. So the faster we can address that claim, and also then if there was an injury or something occurred, we can implement the safety procedures to fix that so it doesn't reoccur. So the interface of those two things are critical in the long term for the town. During the January, we've already actually started this. We're converting to a new financial system that will be taking place over the next 2 months. As you know, we report on this, and the finance officer and their staff are working diligently to implement the new system, which will make it more responsive, more defined, and most of all save us a whole lot of time, because it's all web-based on the computer as opposed to handwriting out everything. We begin our labor negotiations with the police department. That contract ends at the end of this month. So we'll begin meeting with our labor unions on that. In January, I'm wanting to create a personnel office within my office that will help. We'll have all personnel matters surrounded by one person with a backup person, so that everything is coordinated with any kind of personnel action, any kind of personnel event with any employee of the town. It's all one place under my steady watch, if you will, pardon the term, but I can think of it. It'll be within my office. That, I think, will vastly improve what we have and help us to manage our personnel system much better than what we have now. And then we are beginning our capital purchases. We are with tonight on the agenda this rather lengthy acronym for a nationwide consortium of purchasing. It's really the Houston Galveston Purchasing Co-op. It's a national co-op. The state provided municipalities to join these national co-ops. What this allows to do is, you know, when you purchase any big piece of equipment, it's always having to develop a specification. Usually have to pay these engineers a lot of money. And we don't need to. Sorry. So we can literally, or figuratively speaking, we can buy big equipment right off the shelf. You don't have to do the specs, go through the bidding. It's a national co-op. It's so much more efficient. In the past, I've bought fire trucks. I mean, that's unheard of. Fire trucks, ambulances, dump trucks. So we are in need of salt trucks. We're in need of street sweeping. With this implementation of this program, we'll be able to purchase those much quicker, save our time delay by months, if not a year. So with this program, now we'll earnestly develop that. And of course, you have bonds coming in now. We'll be able to implement and buy some much needed equipment. Obviously, one of the police equipment is critical. We'll start that in January to purchase significant equipment there. So these are all the good things that we're doing right now. Lastly, for my report, I just want to wish everybody a very Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. I thank the Commission for bringing me in. This has been a whirlwind of the past few months, but I have to say, other than a couple of days where it was a little tough, mostly because of him over there across from me, I have enjoyed myself immensely, and I look forward to the new year. I just am sad that Commissioner Rodriguez will not be here, but I'll bother her.
I'm not
County.
going far.
I know, and I know where you live. so.
There you go.
Thank you, Mayor, I
Thank you.
appreciate the opportunity.
Mr. Russo, do you have anything regarding your monthly report?
just
Does
to add-
anybody have any questions?
Just to add, for the road project, they did install the speed humps on 62nd. We've been trying to get them out there
Thank you
for a
for
couple
that.
of months. They finally got out there.
Where was that?
On 62nd.
Just a second.
They were
before
installed?
Highlands.
They're installed. All I have to do is put up the signs, striping's done.
Okay.
They're still working on some minor punch lists on all the roads, but,
There's another one coming on right before Park on 62nd. I understand.
there's two on 62nd.
Right, so that other one,
They're both in.
okay, that other one is
Yep.
still? I haven't been there, okay.
And as far as the Veterans Ball project, they're actually bringing in a second crew this week, so they could stay on schedule and still have it completed in the spring. So they're moving along with that. That's it, unless there's any questions
Thank
on
you.
it.
Does anybody have any questions or comments regarding any of the items on the agenda, meaning the commission?
I have a question with regards to R37. Why are they doing for us?
This is.
Howard West.
This is part of the Condo Services Act legislation, which says that if a large residential dwelling is paying for the dwelling, in this case, Tower West and City View, are paying for trash removal, covers trash removal, snow removal, traffic lights. So if there's a condo development with streets that are public streets, that the town has to reimburse them for their
For those
expenses.
services.
For public services that we would otherwise provide for, as a resident.
Okay.
So that's all that, there's one more here that we're still, we're still
The
waiting.
Versailles.
Yeah, we're still waiting for their information. They have to provide us documentation showing how much they spent, and then we do the calculation of reimbursement.
Okay, now with R45, that's the 1-year term?
Yes,
Okay. So the solid waste can be 1 year, not 3.
that's correct. The 1-year term is the reason I've met with Commissioner Vargas. We think that 1-year term is best at this point. We want to look at all the alternatives available to us for solid waste pickup. There was a lot of suggestions made prior to me getting here on changes that we may want to consider. And I felt that it was best that we give this 1 year, everything remains the same, there's no changes, just one more extension, and then we'll work on alternatives. Commissioner Vargas and I are going to work on alternatives, potential alternatives that we'll bring to the commission to consider sometime during the year.
Okay. That's it.
I was gonna say, it seems like we're buying a lot of equipment and stuff, but what I've been noticing is that the repair on the old equipment is costing us a lot of money. So if we keep updating the equipment, and we've been doing this with the police department, you have been doing that, new vehicles, and you know what, the repairs are coming down, so we're able to save some tax.
Our vehicles haven't cost taxpayers any money.
Brand new cars. And EMS now, we got brand new vehicles for them, so the idea is to get brand new equipment and keep, every
yeah.
3 or 4 years, get rid of them, and it saves us on the cost, so
Which reminds me, I'm sorry, what's going on with the sweepers?
that's what this is.
Well,
about.
we want to buy that, I want to buy that through the cooperative,
It's
so
gonna be-
that you're authorizing the cooperative
Okay.
tonight.
I thought we were talking about that, it was going to take some time.
It does take time, but the cooperative will speed that time up even more.
Okay.
So the intent is to get this underway, hopefully, it just depends on the delivery. I haven't looked into the timing, but, it's quick.
I was told that by May, you'll be able to eat out of the streets. If not, Matt Watkins will.
Okay, well,
That's what I was told.
There we go, Mayor.
It's gonna be a toll-free number, and you call this number,
I
and
have that down before.
Yeah.
That's what I was
Bigger time,
told.
Matt.
Yeah.
right.
Bigger time.
I have to excuse myself. I got to go buy a sweeper.
Anybody else?
Member of the public who wish to be heard?
Yeah, Mr. Rivera.
David Rivera, 233 59th Street, West New York, New Jersey. My question, Mayor, is this for council. I'm trying to understand for Resolution R-44, how do you get Commissioner Rodriguez's department, and what are the bylaws for that?
Well, right now, we don't have any, and the council will answer this, but right now, it's gonna be an empty department. The mayor assumes all responsibility of all the commissioners, and so I basically want to take over, and Commissioner Knight, Rodriguez spoke about this, so I'll take over that, temporary until we get somebody new.
Okay, but I'm under the impression that you guys should split the department within the 4 commissioners.
I can explain. Under the commission form of government law, let me back up. Commissioner Rodriguez, there's a dual office holding law. So Commissioner Rodriguez needs to officially vacate her position here before she takes the oath of office at midnight on January 1st. So this resolution, she resigns effective 11/59. This gets accepted. In the commission form of government law, you can't leave the department unsupervised. So until such time as the commission meets again, which will be, I guess, in its regular commission date, January the 21st, the duties of her department will be transferred to the department, to the mayor's department, and he'll have the official responsibility for that department. And then when the new commissioner is selected and sworn in, those duties will be assigned to the new commissioner. So that'll be for 3 weeks, those duties have to be assigned somewhere. So that's what's happening today.
Okay,
That's all.
so, but my other question would be, if you guys do after the new November election, then Ms. Rodriguez became the new freeholder, wouldn't you guys actually brainstorm or shoot out a message on the website that you guys are appointing a new commissioner by this month? You guys are looking for a commissioner to replace Carrie's commissioner seat. You guys do since November, so why are we doing this now?
What do you
And
mean,
waiting,
why are we
waiting for
doing
next
this?
month to appoint somebody.
There's no vacancy until
the
there's
end
no
of the month.
vacancy, yeah.
That's
There's no
correct.
Still until the
vacancy.
end of the month.
I understand that, but.
And there's no commission meeting on the 1st of January. So for those 3 weeks, the mayor takes over until they appoint somebody at that meeting
Okay.
of the 21st.
All right, cool. And my other question is,
I was gonna say, you could help me if you need.
okay.
All right.
What are the topics that are going to be talked about in the executive session?
We're done. It's public, and then we're gonna go upstairs.
This is work session. You guys have a resolution of
No, no.
executive
No,
session.
no, he's
No.
wants to know
the
what's
closed
gonna be
session?
discussed
Yes.
at the
He
end.
wants to know what's in the closed
We
session,
have 2 pieces of litigation that we're gonna discuss.
We're short. You have to
Yes, we
move
do.
it.
The closed session resolution will reference the Bringa litigation and also the Gomez litigation. Those are the only 2 on the closed session resolution.
Why is not posted on the agenda?
It is.
Well, it's
It's
on the
item-
executive session, but you would have to ask the
Okay.
topic.
Okay, just the
Resolution's
title,
there, it
just
just
the
doesn't say
title.
what's incorporated within the
Okay,
resolution.
Okay, if my last, just pull it out on the phone, hold on. Reference to Mayor Roque and his comment with the New Jersey, Jersey Journal, comment with the Western Board of Education. You commend Superintendent Fountain, and then you said that you're gonna do a nationwide search for a superintendent.
Yes.
But isn't the Board of Education an independent agency?
That's not something for this
Related to-
meeting.
yeah,
and-
related to this,
And
yeah.
that's up to the search for a superintendent of schools is up to the Board of Education.
Correct.
Right, so then why would the mayor be commenting that there would be a nationwide search unless if you have any pool with the board members, the trustees at the Board of Education?
That's up to the Board of Education.
That was his opinion.
Yeah, that's his opinion. I
Yeah.
mean, that's up to the Board of Education.
Okay, thank
Thank you,
you.
Dave.
Anyone else wish to be heard from the public?
Oh, well, Angel Barquin. Oh, I'm sorry.
No, no,
Yes,
he's,
you-
he's,
okay.
let,
No, no. No,
I'm
go
sorry, I
ahead.
didn't hear what you said.
no, he said
You
you
can
want to
say-
speak.
Oh,
Hello, everybody. I'm Gary Giordano. I'm the owner of Joseph Minkowski Carding, your present hauler for your recycling and your garbage. I know some of you in the room and some of you I don't. I just got the pleasure of being Mr. Watkins at the bid opening itself. We've been here for 5 years. We have minimal complaints. We've talked, called to us. We have nothing tracked in our office at all from the DPW that there was a problems or any problems. We come out even when the snow is, the streets are closed due to, too much snow and they do emergency services only. We still come up and pick everything up. We try to become part of your team. We handle 24 towns now presently. The last 4 towns that we bid, again, was like here. Only one bidder showed up. Right now, it's very, very difficult. It's very expensive to run garbage equipment. The new trucks are up to $250,000, and the old ones keep breaking. So what we're trying to do, I explained this to Mr. Watkins the day of the bid. We got pushed into a lot of 5-year contracts, which we don't raise our price over the time. And that was bad, that's bad for us, but it's good for the town because they know what their fixed costs are now for the next 5 years. We like a 3-year contract because we want to buy a new truck and amortize it for 3 years and put the new trucks into the town, whether they're biofuel or clean fuel or whatever they may be. On a 1-year contract, the last 3 towns that we bid a 1-year contract with Bayonne, and they went for 1 year with us as the incumbent. We bid it, raised our number. After 1 year, the other people raised their numbers. It was too high for the town. They rebid it the second time. We won half of it at a 38% increase. The garbage, for the recycling, the garbage collection was a 42% increase after 1 year. Jersey City just went out yesterday with Union City, and they got almost a 50% raise from $7 million a year to $13 million a year after the first year, because it's very, very expensive to do for 1 year. Starting January 1, everybody in the room is aware, Obamacare kicks in. Any company that has more than, I think it's 50 people, must provide insurance for everybody. That's an expense that wasn't calculated in this bid. Diesel fuel right now is at an all-time low at $3 a gallon. We all know in this room that $3 a gallon or $2.50 a gallon gasoline isn't gonna last very long. So the only thing I'm saying is, I'm grateful. I've been with you for 5 years. I'm gonna try to stay here as long as I possibly can, as long as you just want me. You know, we feel we're part of your team. We've been part of your team for many years now. We would prefer a 3. There is other options that you can do if you're not 100% satisfied, you want to do something else. You could do a 1 year with 2 1-year options, your options. That's included in the bid. So you can actually lock your number in for 3 years at your option, which is a tremendous savings to the town. And that's basically all I wanted to say. And I wanted to wish everybody a Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays, and introduce myself to everybody. My cell is on 24 hours a day. We're a private-owned company. I'm third generation. My sons and daughters are fourth generation. My teeth are falling out, sorry. I'm not a public speaker, I get a little nervous. We're here, we work 7 days a week, 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. You call, we're here. I provide everybody with my cell phone number and my home phone number. So if you need us, you know, we're not a public company, a waste management or something that's here where you call up, it's 2 minutes after 5, sorry, everybody's gone. Well, I need to speak to somebody up, well, you gotta call Houston, Texas, but they're not here, try California. And, you know, I'm Mr. Ed, you have the horse's mouth. And if there is ever a problem, you know, you call me and I'll fix it for you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, everybody.
Thank you.
Happy holidays.
Happy holidays.
I'll be
You too.
surprised tomorrow on what year's award, and I'll leave it at that. I hope I get an early Christmas present. I hope the town gets an early Christmas present, and you get yourselves a little bit of a long contract.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you. We'll continue. Angel Barquin, 432 58th Street. I'm wondering, right, in the communications on the first, on the agenda that was about 11 o'clock this morning on the webpage, it was saying for you, the latest one, and it consists of a letter of resignation from Commissioner Vargas, reference member of North Hudson Regional Fire and Regional Commission, right? Was that right? Yes, for you, instead of for
Want me
T.
to answer?
Right.
Answer?
Yeah, I always told
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know.
Well, now on the new agenda.
You want me to
right.
answer you or no?
Oh, sure.
Okay. When you saw the agenda that was posted, that was the agenda at the time. You always have to keep in mind that in order for us to comply with the requirement to make the public aware of what's going to be on the agenda, you have to also take into consideration that the agenda is a work in progress and can change whether we can add, modify, or delete. And in this case, that's what happened. That was originally put on just the title, and then it was decided by the law department that that wasn't necessary, so it was removed. If you check the website several times today, we had about 3 or 4 different versions. Am I correct, Adelini?
Yeah.
Modestly 3 or 4, conservatively 3 or
No.
4.
Yeah, I just printed out by 11,
So
that's
that's
why.
why you'll notice sometimes it's there. It may be deleted, it may change, whatever, and that's the reason specifically with this one.
That's what I find out on our resolution R48, right? It claims that instead of being a letter of resignation, is the appointment of Commissioner Vargas to fill the unexpired term of Harold Schroeder as a member of the North Hudson Sewerage
Want me to
Authority.
answer?
It's a stupid question, I'm not gonna answer.
Ah.
It's two
Is it-
different
No,
boards.
it's completely opposite.
What are you asking?
It's
Huh?
two
What do you
different
want, what
boards.
is it you wanna know?
No, I wanna know.
What something was on the agenda this afternoon, it's not on the agenda now?
No,
I
no,
don't
no,
know.
no,
What are you
no. No, I'm sorry. You're trying to mislead what I say. I'm just trying to emphasize that it was a letter of resignation from that position, and a resolution 48 say the opposite thing.
It's two different
It's,
boards.
it's completely opposite. I'm
asking?
sorry.
Resolution 48
It's not a stupidity on my
Here's what
part.
it says. Resolution 48 says, appointment of Commissioner Ruben Vargas to fill the unexpired term of Harold Schroeder as a member on the North Hudson Sewerage Authority.
Okay.
Is there something not clear about that?
Well, the point is, it's completely opposite for the sale of letter of resignation
Is there
of this
something
position.
not clear about what I just read? Yes or no?
No, that's clear.
Okay, then that's it.
That's the answer to the question.
Okay, but it's completely opposite what it was showed up.
You got the answer to the question.
Thank you, Mr. Barkley.
Okay.
Any other questions? Anyone else wish to speak?
Okay.
If no one else wishes to speak, then we're going to end this meeting at 6:41, and the regular session will start upstairs in the courtroom at 7 o'clock.
No.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
We can do it upstairs, because I just closed it now. Tomorrow, when we get upstairs, the first thing we'll do is establish the consent agenda. Okay.
Yes, he is. Close to 30 pounds. And I mean,
Everyone, please rise and salute the flag. As presiding officer of this regular meeting of the Board of Commissioners of the Town of West New York, held on December 17, 2014 at 7 p.m., I do hereby publicly announce and I direct that this announcement shall be placed in the minutes of this meeting and that the notice requirements provided for in the Open Public Meetings Act have been satisfied. Notice of this meeting was properly given by the Board of Commissioners in a resolution dated and adopted December 18, 2013. Said resolution was transmitted by the town clerk to the Jersey Journal and the Bergen Record and publicly posted on the municipal bulletin board in the town hall and filed with the town clerk. Roll call, Commissioner Frias? Present. Commissioner Rodriguez? Here. Commissioner Vargas? Present. Commissioner Wiley?
Here.
Mayor Roque?
Here.
Prior to the normal course of business, I wish to introduce the Honor Guard, the West New York Police Department Honor Guard.
Honor Guard!
point, we wish to present the proclamation to Commissioner Rodriguez, Mayor.
Yeah.
Hey guys, this is a proclamation to Commissioner Rodriguez. Whereas Caridad Rodriguez, the first female commissioner at the Board of Commissioners in the history of the town of West New York, has submitted her notice for resignation in order to be appointed as the freeholder on the Hudson County Board of Freeholders. And whereas Caridad Rodriguez has been a dedicated public servant in the town of West New York for many years, including being the executive assistant to the former mayor Alvio Series since 1966.
96.
As well as being the office manager for Congressman Alvio Series after his election for Congress in 2006. And whereas Mrs. Caridad has been dedicated and involved member of the West New York community as the coordinator for the Municipal Alliance Committee Against Drugs and Alcohol, a member of the West New York Planning Board, and a member of the Board of Adjustment for several years. And whereas her commitment and hard work in West New York and elsewhere has earned her the American Red Cross Clara Barton Award for its meritorious volunteering services. A special recognitions from the Senior of West New York, the Elena Maderos Award for Outstanding Commitment to the Community of the Pam List Award by Women in Power, and a special 2012 congressional recognition for her commitment to the women of New Jersey, etc. She has demonstrated a continuous and unending involvement in public affairs, and whereas Caridad Rodriguez has served in the New Jersey Assembly since she was elected in 2007, and she was the first female and Hispanic assembly person for the 33rd District, and the first Cuban-American assemblywoman in the state of New Jersey. And whereas Ms. Caridad Rodriguez has served tirelessly to the town of West New York since her election as a commissioner in 2011, now therefore be it proclaimed that Caridad Rodriguez is a person committed and involved to the town of West New York and the state of New Jersey, and I, as the mayor and the commissioners of the town of West New York, congratulate her on her appointment as freeholder in the county of Hudson. Congratulations, Caridad.
I'm very impressed, the honor card. My goodness, thank you so very much for this recognition. I am a true servant, as people know me. Sorry. I dreaded today because of this. But again, with that, I will always be a part of West New York. I'm not going far. I live around the corner, and I'm actually happy that they have given me another opportunity to continue my service to the people. Otherwise, it will be ending in May of next year. So, with a little sadness that I leave this position, I'm looking forward to continue to help and serving our people to the fullest of my capacity. Thank you. It's been a great, great privilege for me to head the police department as their commissioner. Never in my wildest dreams did I ever think I would be doing that. And I've gotten to know these men and ladies, and I've really enjoyed it. And they have been so respectful and gracious and committed to our town that it's impressed me how these people work together for the benefit of the town. So I'll have that memory with me for the rest of my life. Thank you, Bob, for helping us. The Color Guard, thank you so much. And God bless you.
I wanted to say thank you, Bob. Last night, I know we had that incident on 63rd Street where it was a hostage situation, and you guys were able to defuse that very quickly. I only get great reviews from you, and I'm getting great reviews from Caridad, and it makes my job a lot easier. You guys are out there, the men are very well taken care of, and that shows leadership. And I wanted to commend you, and I wanted to say, Caridad, we're gonna miss you. It's gonna be hard to fill your place, and you're always here. So
Thank you for giving me the opportunity to head this department in Princeton.
You've done a fantastic job. We're gonna miss you here. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.
All right.
On a guard! Column right, march!
Caught me off guard there.
First item on the agenda is approval of minutes for the regular meeting of November 24th. Do I have a motion to approve the minutes?
Motion.
Motion by Mayor Roque with a second by Commissioner Vargas. Commissioner Frias?
Yes.
Commissioner Rodriguez?
Yes.
Commissioner Vargas?
Yes.
Commissioner Wiley?
Yes.
Mayor Roque?
Yes.
Next item on the agenda is payment of claims. Do I have a motion to pay the claims?
Motion.
Motion by Commissioner Frias with a second by Mayor Roque. Commissioner Frias?
Yes.
Commissioner Rodriguez?
Yes.
Commissioner Vargas? Commissioner Wiley?
Yes.
Mayor Roque?
Yes.
Next item on the agenda is receipt of financial reports for the month of November. Do I have a motion to accept the financial reports? Motion by Mayor Roque with a second by Commissioner Vargas. Commissioner Frias?
Yes.
Commissioner Rodriguez?
Yes.
Commissioner Vargas? Commissioner Wiley? Mayor Roque? Prior to the communications, I received a letter of resignation from Commissioner Rodriguez dated December 17th, addressed to the mayor and commissioners, effective December 31st, 11:59 p.m., which I will now make part of the communications, which will be part of our minutes. And it will be identified as communication for you. The various communications listed on the agenda. We had a presentation by Mr. Watkins during our work session regarding pending matters. 4B, we had a presentation by the town engineer regarding his monthly report. The following items are bid results and/or RFP results. Bid results on December 2nd for garbage and recycling. RFP results for December 3rd for conflict counsel planning board, general counsel planning board, tenant advocacy attorney, general counsel rent control board, tax appeal counsel, tax appeal expert, financial consultant, counsel to library board, ABC prosecutor, special hearing officer. We also had RFPs received on December 4th as follows: special counsel, grant consultant, federal and state, webmaster, website maintainer, workman's compensation attorney. We also had RFPs received on December 12th as follows: alternate prosecutor, conflict counsel, zoning board. We had bid results on December 12th as well for snow removal. And as I said before, the letter, the letter from Commissioner Rodriguez's resignation, which is for you. We had the proclamation, which was previously presented to Commissioner Rodriguez. We'll now read the titles of the resolutions and we'll establish a consent agenda. Resolution R1 is refunded deposit pursuant to Ordinance 4/96, which is a filming permit had been issued to Drew Stone International. Resolution R2, repealing resolution adopted September 12, 2011, which had established the parking for handicapped resident at 14/65th Street. R3, resolution repealing resolution adopted August 20th, 2014, which established the loading zone at 647 60th Street. R4, repealing resolution adopted on February 15, 2012, which established the loading zone at 5909 Park Avenue. R5, repealing resolution adopted on July 15, 1998, which established the loading zone at 524 59th Street. R6, approval of professional services agreement between the town of West New York and Shane Schaefer and Raffanello for Zoning Board of Adjustment Council. All the professional services agreements that I'll be reading will be for the term January 1 of 2015 to December 31 of 2015. R7, authorizing the insertion in the budget of special item of revenue and appropriation, Chapter 159, drive sober or get pulled over, year-end holiday crackdown. R8, ratifying memorandum of agreement with Communication Workers of America, AFL-CIO Local 1045. R9, refund of overpayments of taxes. R10, tax corrections regarding 5509 Madison Street. R11, Hudson County tax appeals. R12, refunds of premiums. R13, refunds of redemptions. R14, tax assessment correction regarding 6045 Boulevard East. R15, awarding resolution for office supplies to Perkarama Coffee Service. R16, approving cash management plan for 2015. R17, awarding emergency contract for animal control shelter services. R18, authorizing the town of West New York to seek fair and open process in compliance with the pay-to-play statutes for the retention of animal control shelter services. R19, approval of professional services agreement between the town of West New York and Bruno and Ferraro for general counsel planning board. R20, approval of professional services agreement between the town of West New York and Smolis and Associates for general counsel rent control board. R21, approval of professional services agreement between the town of West New York and Bruno Associates for grant consultant, county and state. R22, approval of professional services agreement between the town of West New York and Cribbin for grant consultant, federal. R23, approval of professional services agreement between the town of West New York and Alpha Dog Solutions for webmaster and website maintainer. R24, approval of professional services agreement between the town of West New York and Netcher, Deneen and Hillman and Glazer and Camel for workers' compensation attorney. R25, approval of professional services agreement between the town of West New York and O'Donnell McCord for tenant advocacy attorney. R26, designating official depositories for the calendar year 2015. R27, approval of professional services agreement between the town of West New York and NW Financial Group for financial consultant. R28, approval of professional services agreement between the town of West New York and Mateo Perez Esquire for ABC prosecutor. R29, approval of professional services agreement between the town of West New York and Coviello, Legg, and Bureau LLP for alternate prosecutors. R30, capital budget amendment 2014. R31, authorizing adoption of the 2015 debt service requirements. R32, to cancel 2014 budget appropriations in the current fund at year end. R33, transfer of funds for 2014. R34, cancellation of stale dated checks. R35, authorizing adoption of 2015 temporary budget. R36, cancellation of various miscellaneous other trust fund reserves. R27, approval of municipal service agreement between the town of West New York and City View at West New York Master Association and Tower West Incorporated for the year 2014. R38, approval of professional services agreement between the town of West New York and Crucy, McDermott, Nastro and Murphy, PC, law offices of Giblin and Gagnon, and Roderick T. Baltimore for special hearing officers. R39, approval of professional services agreement between the town of West New York and Dubrovic and Associates LLC, Douglas and Standriff Esquire, Schwartz, Simon, Elstein, Bruno and Ferraro, Cruzy, McDermott, Nastro and Murphy, Whipple, Azarello, Petrel Law Offices, Florio and Kenny, Giblin and Gagnon, Chazen, Lehner and Lamparello, Gutierrez and Latzer Badir, LLC, and Squincy Hollenbeck for special counsel. R40, requesting permission for the dedication by rider for elevator inspections of a trust fund required by NJAC 5:23-12. R41, requesting permission for the dedication by rider for recreation donations, other trust funds required by NJS 40:48-2.56. R42, requesting permission for the dedication by rider for municipal public defenders, other trust fund required, NJS 2B:12-28. R43, accepting resignation of Commissioner Caridad Rodriguez. R44, appointing the mayor as the director of the Department of Public Safety until a new commissioner is appointed. R45, awarding resolution to approve the contract with Joseph Smenkowski Incorporated, Galaxy Karting, for solid waste and recycling collection and disposal. R46, approval of professional services agreement between the Town of West New York and Mark A. Rasso Esquire for Tax Appeal Council. R47, approval of professional services agreement between the Town of West New York and the Pinnell Law Group, Richard Pinnell Esquire, Counsel to Library Board. R48, appointment of Commissioner Ruben Vargas to fill the unexpired term of Harold Schroeder as a member on the North Hudson Sewerage Authority. R49, appoint a member appoint member of the Management Committee of the North Hudson Regional Fire and Rescue. R50, to approve participation in HGAC BUY Cooperative Purchasing Agreement. R51, awarding resolution for contract for snow removal to Amernus Corporation. R52, reappointment of Osvaldo Garcia as member of the Town of West New York Alcoholic Beverage Control Board. R53, appointment of Israel Rodriguez as a member of the Town of West New York Alcoholic Beverage Control Board. R54, appointment of Adam Cruz and Anthony Gomez as commissioners of the Town of West New York Parking Authority. R55, appointment of Janice Durham, Jesus Aristi, Angela Duval, Mariolatis Baldeo, David Morel, Daniel Ortega, and Vanessa Cirillo as members of the West New York Drain Control Board. R56, appointment of Teresa Cruz, Herman Alberto Chapin, Jesus Alvarado, Kenneth Blaine, Ramon Morajon, Mohammed El Maksud, and Alma Martins as members of the Zoning Board of Adjustment. R57, appointment of Andre Garcia as Class 1 designee of the Town of West New York Planning Board. R58, appointment of Jose M. Alcantara as a Class 4 member and Miguel Borrego as an alternate number 1 of the Town of West New York Planning Board. R59, appointment of Commissioner Fiordi Elisa Frias as Class 3 member, Johanna Hernandez as a Class 4 member, and Gennaro Sanchez as an alternate number 2 of the Town of West New York Planning Board. R60, appointment of Irene Fernandez and Carmen Perez as members of the Town of West New York Housing Authority. R61, shared services agreement between the Town of West New York and the West New York Board of Education for school nursing services for St. Joseph's of the Palisades Elementary School. And R62 will be in authorizing the closure of executive session pursuant to NJSA 10:4-12B, which I will read separately. Do I have a recommendation to have consent agenda consists of R1 through R61 with the exclusion of R62? Do that as a separate vote? Do I have a motion? So I have a motion by Commissioner Rodriguez with a second by Mayor Roque to include on the consent agenda items R1 through R61 with the exception of R62, which is the closed session. Is that correct? Okay, Commissioner Frias?
I'm going to put my vote in now as far as abstaining.
No, just the consent.
So I'm not approving it, so I'm going to vote separately on a couple of resolutions.
Okay.
This is regular practice, guys.
What do you
Okay.
want separate?
Resolution 20, 28, 44, 48, 49, 52, 53, 54, all the way to 60. You want to abstain on all those, and resolution 45, no.
Okay, let me just repeat. R20, 28, 44, 48, 49, 52, 53, and then 54 through 60, you're abstaining. R45 is a no vote. So, can you take, being that I recorded that, can I take the vote now? Okay. Let's take the vote on the consent agenda, excluding the ones I just read, and then we'll take a separate vote on the other. Okay. I have a motion to move the consent agenda by Commissioner Rodriguez with a second by the mayor. Commissioner Frias?
Okay, I am going to vote on everything except for 25. I'm going to abstain. R25.
Okay. So your vote is yes on everything except R25, which is
Correct.
abstain. Okay. Okay. Commissioner Rodriguez?
Yes.
Commissioner Vargas? Commissioner Wiley? And Mayor Roque. Now I'm going to take a vote on 20, 28, 44, 48, 49, 52, 53, 54 through 60, and 45 with the notations previously noted from Commissioner Wiley and the notation on R25 from Commissioner Frias. Do I have a motion on these resolutions? Motion. A motion by Commissioner Rodriguez with a second by the mayor. Commissioner Frias?
Yes.
Commissioner Rodriguez?
Yes.
Commissioner Vargas? Commissioner Wiley? And notation. And Mayor Roque.
Yes.
Prior to reading the resolution for the closure of executive session, which is R62, I'm going to proceed to the hearings and final adoptions of ordinances. Item number 1 is a hearing and final adoption of bond ordinance 1614 entitled "A Bond Ordinance of the Town of West New York, County of Hudson, New Jersey, providing for the acquisition of vehicles and equipment and appropriating an amount not exceeding $200,000 therefore, and authorizing the issuance of not to exceed $190,000 in bonds or notes of the Town of West New York." Do I have a motion to open the hearing?
Motion.
A motion by Commissioner Frias with a second by Mayor Roque to open the hearing. Commissioner Frias?
Yes.
Commissioner Rodriguez?
Yes.
Commissioner Vargas? Commissioner Wiley?
Yes.
Mayor Roque?
Yes.
Does anyone wish to be heard on bond ordinance 16/14? If so, please come to the front and state your name and address. No one wishes to be heard. Do I have a motion to close the public portion on this ordinance? Motion by Commissioner Vargas. Was it by Commissioner Vargas or Commissioner Rodriguez? Motion by Commissioner Vargas with a second by Commissioner Rodriguez to close the hearing. Commissioner Frias?
Yes.
Commissioner Rodriguez?
Yes.
Commissioner Vargas?
Yes.
Commissioner Wiley?
Yes.
Mayor Roque?
Yes.
Do I have a motion to adopt bond ordinance 16/14?
Motion.
Motion by Mayor Roque with a second by
Second.
Commissioner Frias. Commissioner Frias?
Yes.
Commissioner Rodriguez? Commissioner Vargas? Commissioner Wiley? Mayor Roque?
Yes.
Next item on the agenda, the hearing and final adoption of bond ordinance 17/14 entitled "An Ordinance of the Town of West New York and the County of Hudson, New Jersey, providing for the acquisition of 911 public safety equipment and other equipment and improvements and appropriating $960,000 therefore, and providing for the issuance of $912,000 in bonds or notes of the Town of West New York to finance the same." Do I have a motion to open the hearing on bond ordinance 17/14? Motion by Mayor Roque with a second by Commissioner Vargas. Commissioner Frias?
Yes.
Commissioner Rodriguez?
Yes.
Commissioner Vargas? Commissioner Wiley? Mayor Roque?
Yes.
If anyone wishes to be heard on bond ordinance 17/14, please step up to the front and give me your name and address. No one wishing to be heard, do I have a motion to close the hearing on bond ordinance 17/14?
Motion.
Motion by Commissioner Vargas with a second by Mayor Roque. Commissioner Frias?
Yes.
Commissioner Rodriguez?
Yes.
Commissioner Vargas? Commissioner Wiley?
Yes.
Mayor Roque?
Yes.
Do I have a motion to adopt bond ordinance 17/14?
Motion.
Motion.
Motion by Mayor Roque with a second by Commissioner Rodriguez. Commissioner Frias?
Yes.
Commissioner Rodriguez?
Yes.
Commissioner Vargas? Commissioner Wiley? Mayor Roque?
Yes.
Next item on the agenda is a hearing and final adoption of bond ordinance 18/14 entitled "An Ordinance Amending," I'm sorry, this is not a bond ordinance, this is a regular bond, it's a regular ordinance 1814. An ordinance amending chapter 161 Construction Codes Uniform, sections 2.b, I, B, 2B, 3B, and 4B of the Town of West New York Municipal Code with regard to the collection of state training fees to comport with the mandate of the state of New Jersey relative thereto. Do I have a motion to open the hearing on ordinance 1814?
Motion.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Frias with a second by Commissioner Vargas. Commissioner Frias?
Yes.
Commissioner Rodriguez?
Yes.
Commissioner Vargas?
Yes.
Commissioner Wiley? Mayor Roque?
Yes.
Anyone wishes to be heard on ordinance 1814, please step to the front and give me your name and address. No one wishing to be heard, do I have a motion to close the hearing on ordinance 1814?
Motion.
Motion by Commissioner Vargas with a second by Commissioner Rodriguez. Commissioner Frias?
Yes.
Commissioner Rodriguez?
Yes.
Commissioner Vargas? Commissioner Wiley?
Yes.
Mayor Roque?
Yes.
Do I have a motion to adopt ordinance 18/14?
Motion.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Rodriguez with a second by Commissioner Frias. Commissioner Frias?
Yes.
Commissioner Rodriguez?
Yes.
Commissioner Vargas?
Yes.
Commissioner Wiley?
Yes.
Mayor Roque?
Yes.
Next item on the agenda is a hearing and final adoption of ordinance 1914 entitled, "An Ordinance Approving a 5-Year Tax Abatement for a Multifamily Building Constructed by 600-602 LLC Pursuant to the Provisions of the 5-Year Tax Exemption and Abatement Law, NJSA 40:A-21-1 et sec, and Section 7 of Ordinance 11/07, an ordinance entitled 5-Year Tax Abatement." Do I have a motion to open the hearing on ordinance 1914?
Motion.
Motion.
Motion by Commissioner Frias with a second by Commissioner Rodriguez. Commissioner Frias?
Yes.
Commissioner Rodriguez?
Yes.
Commissioner Vargas?
Yes.
Commissioner Wiley? Mayor Roque?
Yes.
Does anyone wish to be heard on ordinance 1914? If so, please step to the front and give me your name and address. No one wishing to be heard. Do I have a motion to close the hearing
Just
on
want to say
ordinance
one
19?
comment, really quick. It's, again, to reiterate it, tax abatement is deteriorating the tax base. Not only presently, but in the future also. So be ready for that, because you will feel this 7 to 8 different abatements that were given in this one administration. So this will be something you guys will pay for later.
Do I have a motion to close the hearing on 1914?
Motion.
Motion by Commissioner Rodriguez with a second by Commissioner Vargas. Commissioner Frias?
Yes.
Commissioner Rodriguez?
Yes.
Commissioner Vargas?
Yes.
Commissioner Wiley? Sir? No?
To close it?
No, no,
To
to
adopt
close the
it.
hearing.
Yeah, close it.
To close the hearings, yes, right? Mayor Roque?
Yes.
Do I have a motion to adopt ordinance 1914?
Motion.
Motion by Mayor Roque with a second by Commissioner Rodriguez. Commissioner Frias?
Yes.
Commissioner Rodriguez?
Yes.
Commissioner Vargas?
Yes.
Commissioner Wiley?
No.
Mayor Roque?
Yes.
Next items on the agenda are 2 introductions of ordinances. The first being ordinance 20, entitled "An Ordinance Repealing Chapter 53 of the Code of the Town of West New York entitled Insurance Fund Commission." And the second ordinance is ordinance 2114, entitled "An Ordinance Amending Chapter 93 of the Code of the Town of West New York regarding salaries and compensation." Both of these ordinances are being adopted for first reading on introduction by the Mayor and Board of Commissioners of the Town of West New York on December 17th, and they'll be published and will be further considered before final passage at a public hearing on January 21st, 2015 at 7 p.m. in the Commission Chambers in the Municipal Building in Town Hall in West New York. A copy of both ordinances have been posted on the bulletin board upon which public notices are customarily posted on in Town Hall, and a copy at no charge is available up to and including the time of such meeting to the members of the public of the town, who shall request such copies at the office of the town clerk in the Town Hall. Do I have a motion to introduce ordinances 2014 and 2114?
Motion.
Motion on both is by Commissioner Frias with a second by Commissioner Rodriguez. Commissioner Frias?
Yes.
Commissioner Rodriguez?
Yes.
Commissioner Vargas? Commissioner Wiley? Mayor Roque?
Yes.
And now we'll read Resolution R62, which authorizes closure of executive session pursuant to NJSA 10:4-12B. Be it resolved by the Board of Commissioners of the Town of West New York, County of Hudson, and State of New Jersey, that the Board of Commissioners hereby declare this executive session closed to the public for the following items. 1, pursuant to NJSA 10:4-12B, 7, the discussion of the terms of a settlement of the litigation of Elaine Gomez versus West New York. 2, pursuant to NJSA 10:4-12B7, the discussion of the terms of a settlement of the litigation of Bringer versus Town of West New York. Be it further resolved that the minutes of this closed session shall be available to the public as per NJSA 10:4-13A, at such time as the matter necessitating the discussion of the the discussion of the aforementioned litigations have been concluded to the extent disclosure is not prohibited by other law. Do I have a motion to approve the closure of executive session, item R62?
Motion.
Commissioner Vargas, motion, the second is by Commissioner Rodriguez. Commissioner Frias?
Yes.
Commissioner Rodriguez?
Yes.
Commissioner Vargas?
Yes.
Commissioner Wiley?
Yes.
Mayor Roque?
Yeah, I mean, we're going into closed session to discuss the possible settlement of two cases. I would not expect that the closed session would last much more than 30 to 45 minutes, so I leave it to your discretion. When we come back, if there is agreement on settling the cases, we will adopt motions to, we'll adopt resolutions to settle the two cases if we can reach an agreement to do so. And then we'll open the public session of the
Yes, brothers in arms here.
Motion by Commissioner Frias to reconvene, second by Commissioner Vargas. Commissioner Frias? Yes. Commissioner Rodriguez? Commissioner Vargas?
Yes.
Commissioner Wiley is absent. Mayor Roque. So that was the motion to reconvene the meeting at 8:20.
We're in closed session, and we just discussed two pieces of litigation. One of them was the matter of Elaine Gomez versus the town of West New York, and one of them was the matter of Alberto Bringa versus West New York et al. And the results of what we discussed will be made known momentarily.
Verbally add.
We are going to add
R63 will be which resolution?
R63 will be a resolution authorizing the execution of a settlement agreement in the matter known as Elaine Gomez versus the town of West New York, the R63. And R64 will be R64 will be a resolution authorizing the execution of a settlement agreement in the matter known as Alberto Bringa versus West New York. Take 10 copies of each.
I'm just going to take one and just pass the rest of it so I can proceed with the Do I have a motion to adopt resolution R63 regarding the Elaine Gomez versus Town of West New York matter? Motion by.
Before we answer some motion, I'm going to recuse myself.
So no, let the record show that she's recused.
Commissioner Frias recused herself and left the court chambers at 8:23 p.m. I need a motion to adopt resolution R63. Motion by Mayor Roque with a second by Commissioner Vargas. Commissioner Rodriguez?
Yes.
Commissioner Vargas?
Yes.
Commissioner Wiley?
Abstain.
Mayor Roque? The record will reflect that Commissioner Frias returned to the court chambers at 8:24. Do I have a motion to adopt resolution R64 regarding the Bringer versus West New York matter?
Motion.
Motion by Mayor Roque with a second by Commissioner Rodriguez. Commissioner Frias?
Yes.
Commissioner Rodriguez?
Yes.
Commissioner Vargas? Commissioner Wiley?
Yes.
Mayor Roque?
Yes.
Do I have a motion to open the public portion?
Motion. Second.
Motion by Mayor Roque with a second by Commissioner Vargas to open the public portion of the meeting. Commissioner Frias?
Yes.
Commissioner Rodriguez?
Yes.
Commissioner Vargas? Commissioner Wiley?
Yes.
Mayor Roque?
Yes.
Public portion is now open at 8:25 p.m. If anyone wishes to speak during the public portion, please come to the front of the court chambers. Give me your name and your address, please.
Hi, name is Preston. Please,
It's been a while.
6600 Boulevard East.
Thank you.
Thank you. I just have a question regarding the resolutions. May I ask a question? There's 3 resolutions that say repealing resolution, to repeal the resolutions that were adopted at certain dates, which established a loading zone at 3 different business establishments. Because I'm on the zoning board, can you explain a little bit what this means? You're repealing a resolution that established the loading zone, so that means that there does not have to be a loading zone there now?
That's correct.
That's right.
It was evaluated by the police department as no longer needed.
So loading zones, I know in residential, my understanding is they're not needed for residential developments, now they're not needed for commercial development.
In
That
those
particular site.
Those particular sites, the circumstances that originally required a loading zone are no longer existent, so they can let them go.
Okay, and I'm not familiar with what the loadings were, but I know that just from sitting on the board, I know the chairman has commented several times on Family Dollar, for example, and when it's come up, he has said, well, we were very adamant about having the loading zone for Family Dollar, we got that, because I've always questioned why they weren't necessary for residences, so now I'm wondering, he felt it was very important to have it, at least I know he mentioned Family Dollar, so now we're saying it's not important to have it, so, I don't know the details, but.
In particular circumstances where they were required before or necessary due to the circumstances of that business, when that circumstance no longer exists, then the police department, the loading zone will be done away with because it takes up necessary parking, and we then the commission then abolishes the need for loading zone. Loading zones are still required, are still necessary where there's a business active that have that need to offload or unload materials or goods. So that's when a loading zone is required, such as you said, the Family Dollar store. But in these particular circumstances, those conditions, those circumstances no longer existed So why tie up parking spaces when there really isn't a need to have loading zone there? And that's what happened.
Can you explain what the circumstances were that changed?
I think that if you give us a call tomorrow, we'll go through all that with you.
If you don't, if I may, I'm sorry, this appears to be your former attorney who gave you this advice, it would appear?
No, from sitting on the board, we come across applications all the time for large residential developments, for
Right.
example.
That's right.
And they, part of it has always been, well, you have to have the loading zone, and the commissioners we always leave it, it gets approved by the zoning board. And then it's up to the commissioners to either say, yes, it can continue, but they, we mandate that they have this loading zone. At some point, they said, because we had an application before us, and we made that a requirement or a caveat that we'll pass it if the commissioners approve this loading zone. I forget what the details of that were. And I remember just in conversation, Chairman Blaine saying, always referring to a number of times, Family Dollar. Well, for the commercial establishment, we got the loading zone for Family Dollar. So that it's being taken away here, I'm just wondering, it seems so important to him, now it's not important, I'm wondering what changed.
Which one of the professionals would say that? Was it Ken Blaine who said that?
The
or-
comment, it was just a comment,
Oh, okay.
yes.
It wasn't one of the professionals who
No.
would say that?
No, and he was
Okay.
referencing
Okay.
a prior approval,
Okay.
obviously.
Okay, got it.
So I'm just asking, can you comment on what changed? Did Family Dollar go out of business?
Yeah,
Now
this
it's
is,
not necessary?
in that particular one, the said businesses no longer exists. So business is no longer there, and that's what I was saying. If it no longer exists, there's no need to have it.
Okay. That was my question.
Thank you for the
Thank
question.
you.
I've been a resident of West New York for far shorter time than many of the people here tonight, for going on 5 years. Just a matter of history. When did we go to the limiting of interaction with our elected officials here at the Board of Commissioners? When did that occur? Because when I first came to town, we had I don't know if you would recall, Mr. Mayor, but we had a good dialogue and back and forth on several occasions, and
I could tell you when I was in the other side, I remember the ex-mayor saying, your time is up, and he had a timer, and since I've been around, this has been standard.
not at all.
No.
First few years I lived in town. But in any case, Mayor Roque, I was trying to get 5 minutes, 10 minutes of your time in private, and I spoke to your, I believe it's the Chief of Staff, Mr. Baez.
Yes.
On Thursday. And my concern is the appointments that we're putting on our various boards.
Okay.
I personally, as I know you are aware of, applied for the zoning board and was not accepted.
I believe you were accepted at the rent control board. Am I correct?
However, my application only indicated my interest in serving on the zoning board, since I do have experience and knowledge in those areas.
Right.
And so I think that's regrettable, but Louis Baez, I spoke to him on Thursday afternoon. He told me that he would take the applications that had been sent in to the clerk's office, and he would get them to you, which I know he did.
Yes, you did.
And he also told me that it would be absolutely no problem to get a few minutes with you, either on, he asked me when would be the best time. I said, if there's any time at all, Monday or Tuesday, I'm home all day, I'm happy to go over and talk to the mayor. Told me he was gonna call me the next day. I got no call. I called back the next day, received no call back. I called on Monday, got no call back. I got a call from Mr. Baez on Tuesday evening, last night, about 5:30, telling me that we would arrange to meet for a short time today, before the commissioners' meeting.
Okay.
And never got a call back, and he called again. you know, you have up on the website for the town, all of this, you work hard for and with your constituents, you have a clear vision and commitment to cultivate a local government which puts people first.
Correct.
But if people have access to our elected officials, and when we do have a chance to get with our elected officials in a forum such as this, we're limited to 5 minutes and we have the pressure of the time constraints. Is that really the kind of open government that you
You could
envision?
go, after this, you could walk me to, drive with me to Palisade Hospital, I'm gonna go see my mom, you can hang out with her an hour, and she's very charming if you want. So I don't have a problem hanging out with you for an hour, and we can talk after
Is there
this.
another more convenient time? I have a
I
wife
get up
that's
at
preparing
I
dinner.
get up at 5 in the morning, anytime after that, we can meet.
Okay, great. So
And
if I,
just-
you think if I call Mr. Baez, maybe I could
Call
make an
call
appointment?
me direct, and I will meet you at, whenever you want at 5 in the morning, I have no problem.
Okay.
Okay?
And we can discuss the matters of the appointments.
Absolutely, I have no problem meeting you, you're very charming.
You're pretty charming yourself.
Thank you.
John Hines, 78 Montclair Ave, Little Falls. So, first thing I want to ask, Mayor, any comment regarding the President Obama talking about possible mending the relations with the United States and Cuba?
You know, John, that's a very dear question to me. Having endured the hardship of communism, the poverty of being in a place where it was bountiful of sugar cane and coffee, but not able to have the coffee or the sugar at my table because it was hoarding up and it was sold overseas. Having to endure, castigated at all the, at that time in schools, they used to call me a worm because I wasn't part of the communist regime. It's very sad that this is going on, but at the same time, I could see that it'll open doors for the Cubans to actually see reality. It's like the internet, it's opening a lot of doors. They'll be able to see what's happening in the real world, because right now, Cuba is like a big dream over there. People make about $20 a month in salary, but if they want to get a pound of coffee, they have to pay $3 for a pound of coffee. If they want to get a coconut, it's $1, so, or a chicken is $2, and I know that because I have friends that travel a lot. It's sad. It's one of those situations that a lot of Cuban Americans have suffered, have died. Thousands of people in prison, which is not fair. The political prisoners over there, the ladies in white who have endured the punishment of the Castro regime. It's sad for them, and I can understand how aggravated they are, how my family is very upset about this. But you know what? He is the president, and we have to respect him. And having said that, I do agree with what the senator has been saying, Menendez. I agree with Congressman Alvarez has been saying. It's very hard for us to swallow that pill. It's very difficult for all Cuban Americans to swallow it. But you know what? We have to follow what the guidelines of what our president is saying, and it's a democracy.
Thank you. Thank you, Mayor. I appreciate the insightful response. And on a completely unrelated matter, I wanted to ask the terms of the two settlements. So, Counselor, could you tell me how much the Elaine Gomez versus Town of West New York matter was settled for?
The Elaine, we'll be bringing Elaine Gomez back to the position that he had before the termination, and paying Elaine Gomez the amount that was owed, but we'll be paying it out over a 3-year period. And I believe that amount over a 3-year period is that will total $155,000, and it's covered by the insurance.
Very good. And then the same question about Alberto Bringa versus Town of West New York. And is that, I know you said et al. At one point, so are there other people on the well, there's obviously other people on the lawsuit, right?
Yeah, there's other people in the Bringa lawsuit. The Bringa is the named plaintiff, and we're settling the Bringa case very early in this case. by paying Bringa the amount that he claims that he's owed. So again, we're spreading that cost out over a period of years, starting with a payment next year and the balance due the following year.
And what's that number?
It's his accumulated sick time and vacation time, and that comes to approximately $200,000, a little over $200,000, and that is also we expect that to be covered by the insurance as well.
And finally, could you tell me who else is included on that suit?
There are a number. I couldn't tell you because it's not. I couldn't tell you tonight because it's not. We didn't discuss it, and it's not the subject of the settlement. The only case that in the Bringa lawsuit that we're settling is Mr. Bringa himself.
Okay, I wasn't sure. All right, thank you.
No one else wishes to be heard. Do I have a motion to close the public portion?
Something I just wanted to ask. You know how I feel about this, is Pablo Fonseca. In November, he was paid $44,000. Okay, his salary's $4,000. I mean, how much work is this guy doing? What is he doing in less than $44,000 a month?
I can tell you, everything that goes out, Mr. Fonseca is doing it, the marketing for the town. He's working. I mean, you can sit with him and he can go over his job details of what he's been doing and the emails and the marketing he's doing for the town. And in my opinion, he's doing a good job.
$44,000 worth of work.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
And that's just.
But that's not.
He's been being paid every month.
I can't be $44,000 a month. If not, I'll switch jobs from a doctor to this job.
Yeah, you just paid him. You paid him for
No,
the
this
whole
is,
summer.
well, this is every month, and we pass this resolution, what are we paying a month now? It's like 4,000? Yeah, 4,000 a month, yeah.
So then this is all additional work he did, $40,000 worth of work.
No, it's probably back pay, and I'll be more than happy to review it with you after this.
Well, I'm trying to recall, this past summer, we just finished paying him another $16,000. That was in September. So I'm gonna remind you.
Commissioner, all I have to say to you is, I know he gets about 4,000, but he's outside, you can talk to him and he can tell you how much he's making. We're talking, no, the commission, we're all paying him, this is the town's paying, not me. And it's about $4,000 a month.
Being spent. I wanna know.
It's $4,000 a month.
Is there receipts? Is there something I can ask for? To ask what he's been spending this money?
Very simple.
The only thing I see now is Christmas, and I see him advertising in all different papers, Rivage, Special League, he's spending thousands of dollars on advertising.
Absolutely.
Okay? And then when you put a picture in, you have commissioners that are with you here. And it says mayor, it's a board of commissioners. Where are the commissioners?
Commissioner, you're a very good-looking guy. If you want to put your picture there, put my name on
I
it.
would do that as a mayor. I would put all my commissioners there. That's just as important to me.
Put your picture. I'll make sure I'll put your picture, okay?
$40,000. I'm gonna request some receipts. I can do that for him. Anything that he spent in his town, I'm gonna offer that. We'll be back then for next week.
Thank you.
You would need to open it can be provided.
Okay, that's great. It's a lot of work, 40,000, just for the town. And the appointments to the boards I'd like to talk about. All right, obviously that this wasn't asked of me, maybe to appoint somebody being one of the commissioners here. I'm sure you've asked other people to appoint people. And I want to be straight on the record here what this is. These people, most of the people I see are all Salvago people. I see Cosmo Cirillo's wife. I see the other gentleman, the taller guy. He was actually chief of staff to Vega. I see a lot of Vega people. I see the combination of the politics. And when I see that doesn't represent you, the people. Those aren't true appointments. These are political appointments, again, that he could control here on the board. That's how I see that. And I'm very disgusted by that. I'm happy. And again, it just continues to go on.
Commissioner, all I have to say, I'm working with everybody.
You're working with Salvega, you're not working with everybody.
This is not Salvega, this is working with the town people. And if Salvega is a town member, I'm gonna work with him.
Well, Joshua asked us to be on the planning board, and he was denied that.
He was,
He's stuck him on a rent control.
yes, and he didn't accept it, so that was his option.
Why didn't he get accepted to the planning board?
Because I had other
Zoning
people.
Zoning it was.
Okay.
Why did you deny that?
Because I had another person. I had another person.
person?
You had Salvega's person. It was a stronger board, you wanted to have more control.
Okay, thank you.
That's the reality, just so he's aware of what's going on and just doesn't, you see what's happening.
If I may, I would like to make a comment. It's with regards to the planning board. And this past month, after 50 years, the planning board adopted a new master plan for the town. And I would like to just say thank you to all the residents that continuously came to all the meetings and gave their opinions and their vision. They shared what they feel and think and would like for West New York to be in the future. And also all the members of the board. This took over a year. I started in this board back in April. Commissioner Rodriguez was there before me. She started, the process, and I had the privilege to finish it. But again, it was a lot of work, a lot of input, a lot of information that came back and forth, the planners, and the members of the public that kept giving us more and more ideas, and it just got bigger and bigger, and finally we have an adopted master plan. And guys, this is huge because it's 50 years of, just trying to bring the town to something where now we can envision the future. So just want to make that comment. Thank you.
I'm sure you should take a lot of credit to yourself because you have done that and
We did it
yeah,
together.
you did it well. We all did it together. Thank you.
Good evening. Doug Gordon, 6600 Boulevard East, Apartment 12G. I just had a question. What was the impetus for the Gomez lawsuit?
When you say
Just to
impetus,
refresh my memory, what was the impetus? for
the
both
attorney
of
can
these?
tell you. You allowed to answer the attorney?
Were they wrongful termination suits?
There was I could tell you there's no seal there. There was a question about a forged signature.
Were these two people terminated by the town of West New York at one point?
We're talking about Gomez, or we're talking about Bringa?
We'll go one by one.
We're talking about Gomez?
Yes.
There was a question about a forged signature.
Was
yes.
the town, so that person was terminated?
Yes.
And you just settled for a wrongful termination? If you don't want to call it wrongful termination, call it whatever you want.
We did not
You settled
admit,
on a suit.
we did not admit any guilt.
Okay, just understand what's going on here. This town fired this person, and now we're paying, due to the mismanagement of this administration, once again, we're paying over $200,000. Is $200,000 enough?
It's much more complicated than that.
I know you want to cut, I know you want to
It's
smooth
much-
it over.
it's no-
All
there's
I'm
no
saying
smoothing
is.
over. It's much more
Okay, may I
complicated.
finish my comment, and then I'll move on to a question. This is just another example of the mismanagement that this mayor seems to have quite consistently throughout his administration. So in May, when you're making a vote at the voting booth, remember, this is the guy that you would potentially, well, I would hope you would not vote for him again, because these are the type of problems that is costing us as taxpayers money. Now, Al Bringa, was he terminated by the town of West New York?
Al Bringa.
Under this man's administration?
Al Bringa involved an interpretation of a collective bargaining agreement. That's what Al Bringa involved.
Was it a wrongful termination
It
suit?
involved an interpretation of a collective bargaining agreement.
Was he hired by this mayor?
He was not hired by this man.
Okay, but it was a wrongful termination
It
suit.
involved a collective interpretation
And
of
how
a
much
collective bargaining agreement.
Okay, and how much did we settle for again?
We settled for a little over $200,000.
I would just like to say to the people, that once again, this is an example of mismanagement that this mayor consistently has happened to this town, and we again have to pay for this money. So I strongly urge you, maybe you weren't qualified for the job in the first place, and I give you credit for running for office, but I strongly suggest that we do not elect this mayor another time. Okay?
I just wanted to say happy holidays.
And Merry Christmas to you.
Thank you, sir.
Happy
Thank you.
holidays, and I hope you do better in your next career.
My job as a doctor is very successful.
Political career.
Thank you, sir. Have a good day. Thank you.
Daniel Alvarez, 4204 New York Avenue, Union City, New Jersey.
Sorry, 4404?
42.
4204. Palisade, you said?
New York. It's okay, no problem. I'm sorry, it's been a long day for me.
4204 New York Avenue, Union City. Got it.
Union City.
Union City, got it.
We're neighbors.
Yes.
First question for the mayor. During your campaign against former Mayor South Vega, you accused his administration of corruption and nepotism. Do you still hold that true today, or would you like to retract that statement?
I don't like, I'm not going to answer that question.
Understood. Yeah, people make mistakes. Second question, about the $2.5 million deficit in this year's budget that was plugged with the financial agreement with K. Hovnanian. Absent that agreement, would there have been a deficit in the budget?
There is no $2.5 million deficit in this year's budget. So let's start with the multi-premise of your question.
Well, absent the $2.5 million that was delivered by K. Hovnanian, ignoring the abatement, would there have been a $2.5 million deficit?
There is no $2.5 million deficit in this year's budget.
Good answer. What is the projection for next year's budget? Are the expenses going up or down?
Started working.
Well, we're at the end of the
We're in the process
count.
of adopting a temporary budget, but we
Okay.
cannot give you any figures until the adopts the budget for 2015.
Makes sense, because it was like 3 years of emergency budgets, you know, I understood. There were. Okay, let's not get too far off track. I just wanted to make one more point clear. The resolutions that were passed at the last meeting, where Hudson County TV would receive like $18,000, or there's some agreement there where you can spend up to $18,000 in ads for Cambio newspaper, a few ads in addition to Fonseca Consulting Group, 100,000. What is the purpose of putting all these advertisements out? Is it for economic development, or?
I'm going to tell you, you need to market this town. And we are doing that. I can market a business, and everything we've been doing, he's been added, marketing the town. So it helps. It brings in more people, more businesses into our town.
Can you name any specific ad that would be targeting commercial activity?
Right?
Because it looks like, you know,
Yeah,
feel good.
sure. Let me give you an example. Now we're doing free parking. Last year we had people complaining about not, giving the residents parking during the holiday. That's an ad that we had in place, and it's out there, and people know about it. And that's one of the examples that I can give you.
Yeah. One last thing, about all these lawsuits and all these settlements. Was there an increase from the prior administration, lawsuits and settlements and that, or is that information, has anyone looked into that?
Lawsuits are, this is a large corporation, and lawsuits are routine in municipalities. So I don't know that you can say that there's any, disproportionately large number of lawsuits here than there would be anywhere else.
It seemed like there were a lot of wrongful termination lawsuits foisted on the city during the first year or two of this administration. So that's what I'm saying. It seems like that's abnormally high versus other administrations of the towns, where maybe 1 or 2 people per 4-year election cycle will accuse a town of wrongfully terminating. What is the total number of lawsuits during the last 4 years? Is there an estimate?
I would leave those comparisons and those estimates to you.
Do you think it's over 20?
I will leave those estimates to you.
Okay, that's it for tonight. Merry Christmas, happy holidays.
Thank you.
Happy New Year.
If no one else wishes to be heard, we have a motion to close the public portion.
Motion.
Motion by Mayor Roque, second by Commissioner Rodriguez. Commissioner Trias? Yes. Commissioner Rodriguez? Yes. Commissioner Vargas? Commissioner Wiley?
Yeah.
You're okay. Do we have a motion?
Did you do two notaries?
Motion by Commissioner second by Commissioner Rodriguez. Commissioner Frias? Yes. Commissioner Rodriguez? Yes. Commissioner Vargas? Commissioner Wiley? You're okay.
Now we can decorate like